Hello and welcome to the Bat Report. Sorry we've been gone for a little bit. Braydon hates us and decided he didn't want to record for a week.
I decided
and we got
to
miss
turn off
three
my
episodes.
air conditioning for a week just for
And then your
funsies.
mom got married. You had to make a movie. God, why do you gotta have to have a career? You know?
Why do I have a life? Honestly, I should just dedicate my life to Star Wars.
Yeah, no. Sorry we were gone for a little bit, but now we're back. We're gonna do.
We are back.
It's gonna be a little bit of a longer episode. I'm your host Jackson Daleen.
And I'm your other host, Braydon Leadbetter.
Welcome to the Bat Report. Today we're going to be talking about episodes 8 through 10. These are going to be, this is releasing today. So yeah, this is up to today's current episode. And we'll
Playing
go from
catch
there.
up here.
Playing catch up. So we're going to jump right into it since we've got a good amount of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we do.
So starting off episode 8, the episode's titled Battle Scars.
The Last Jedi.
Excuse me. The Last Jedi. Yeah, right. The gang's still on Braca. As an episode as a whole, this was a fun one actually. I really like this one. What did you think about this episode?
I think I think it was one of the most entertaining ones of late.
Yeah.
The previous episode to this one and this one, I think both of those are like in my top 3 favorite Bad Batch episodes. And we finally get to see Crosshair again.
Yeah, we got the return of Crosshair, which was nice. I really like that artillery base scene.
Crosshair's in rough shape now.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Dengar. A lot of people.
Yeah, I know. I think they did that on purpose.
They hyped this one up. A lot of the animators tweet they were like, a person's going to be in this episode.
They were like, you better watch this week.
You better make sure this one's watched. Yeah, no, this was a very fun one. What were some of your just favorite moments overall? We'll kind of talk about like the important scenes, but at least in the overall episode, what did you like?
It's been a couple weeks since I've watched this one, but I did not see the Cad Bane reveal coming.
Yeah, neither did I actually.
And there's also the fake out death with Hunter too, which we can talk about.
I love Call of Duty.
Right. You kind of called the Cad Bane thing earlier on, I think. We'll roll the clip here. I think you did.
Did I really?
I think a couple episodes ago, maybe one of the first episodes when we were
Just
talking about people who could show up, and you said Cad Bane.
Yeah, and I really liked just his use so far, and even just the last 2 episodes. I hope and I think they're going to bring him back more as well.
Even if they don't, I'm happy with what they did with him. They just brought him in
as well.
For an
we'll
arc,
talk about that in the next episode of how they kind of did all of that, because that stuff's no, this is a fun episode. It kind of starts the gang still in Braca, and the Wrecker teaching Omega how to disarm a bomb, and I remember watching it and like agreeing with Omega, being like, wow, you really did just let a child disarm a bomb. And he's like, it's a smoke bomb, and you're like, oh, all right, you got me too, Wrecker. I don't know, you kind of scared me in the last one. I didn't know if you were capable of doing that.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that whenever that scene was happening.
You just thought Omega was gonna just blow up. Be like,
I didn't think about the fact that Wrecker, like, he's still kind of like a loose cannon.
Yeah, I would still kind of be, even though they got them all out. But no, yeah, we get a tiny little bit more of Admiral Rampart with the Empire, and talking to Crosshair, and I always forget who the head Kaminoan guy is.
Lama Su?
No, that's the lady.
The guy.
Who's the Prime Minister.
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I always just call him the Kaminoan Prime Minister.
Yeah, it's something. It starts with a T, I think, or at least has a T, like, prominent in it.
Again, someone. Is it? It's not Ton Wee, is it?
Oh, it's something like that, though.
No. That's not Tom. That's not the Prime Minister.
Is that the name of the one?
That's from Attack of the Clones. The lady who like introduces Boba to Obi-Wan.
I'm gonna look it up. I'll find it.
But everyone who knows is yelling at their screen right now.
We
have these moments too often. What is this called again?
We're dying
Someone
of dementia, and we can't process our own brain. All right, hold on. I'm trying to give me a.
What is the countdown? 1, 2,
God, I'm
3,
I'm moving,
4, 5.
Thank God D. Bradley Baker plays like most of the characters in this, so it keeps the cast list short.
Or you could just literally Google who is the Kaminoan Prime Minister.
Maybe it is Lama Su. I thought Lama Su was the lady. Nala Se? No. Maybe it is. Lama Su is the Prime Minister.
I never remember, honestly. The Kaminoans are never something that I've really focused on until this show. So,
yeah, I agree. I don't know. I always like their kind of like idea in Attack of the Clones, and no, I like how in this one they're much more like business oriented, and you know, I think it's interesting too. Like with these recent episodes, like Cad Bane and Fennec, I kind of called Bane working for the Kaminoan like Prime Minister, but I didn't expect Fennec to be working for the other one, the girl.
Right.
So yeah, sorry, jumping back to just kind of the episode in general. We'll kind of talk about the important stuff, especially with like, I think about that artillery scene with, you know, Crosshair and the gang when they've got them all cornered.
Yeah.
And they shoot off the cannon. I thought that was a really good scene for me in this episode. And just kind of, do you think it's going to push, it's like another like thing for Crosshair to kind of realize that he is being controlled? Or
I think we're getting the redemption, man.
do you think the ion engine kind of burned that away, and now he's doing it because he's angry?
I think that is a factor, but I think by the end of this series we'll get the Crosshair redemption, because I mean that the what was left of a semblance of not being controlled in Crosshair was kind of burned away because now he's just angry. But I think that going forward, and I think the Bad Batch crew will find a way, somehow, some way, to either get the chip out of Crosshair or convince him somehow, some way that he's being controlled.
Right.
Because I think that kind of has to be the arc of this show in general, is the Bad Batch being whole again. And I think that there's kind of a, that's kind of funny. There's a hole, but they're not whole because they're missing Crosshair. So, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be cool whenever he does turn, with however he does that.
Or if he does, who knows?
Or if he does.
I could be totally wrong.
I think he will, and then it's probably going to cost his life. It's whatever it does is like this, you know, it's a sacrifice.
He does
that
one
he
last
pulls off.
heroic thing, and then
Pretty much, yeah. He throws Palpatine over the edge, kind of thing.
Yeah. One of Palpatine's clones.
So, talking about just, we'll finish off this episode and the return of Cad Bane. You know, we kind of just briefly discussed it, but I want to talk about the standoff between them. A lot of people are comparing it to the unfinished Clone Wars Boba Fett Cad Bane fight.
Yeah, I thought about that too. I think it seems like they almost like reuse some of the animation.
It's kind of like it's like their homage to it instead. Yeah. It's like instead of having the Boba Fett, it was this fight. But
it's like they copy pasted.
A lot of people are also saying that Fett may make an appearance in this and will actually depict the scene that happened from Clone Wars, and that will be the end of Cad Bane. But there's also, they show it in the second episode, but when the guy released the like character model like design of Cad Bane, when he first like was, you know, obviously it was revealed that he was back, and he's got like a metal plating in his head. And in the second episode, when he's got Omega in the cell, he takes his hat off and he's got like a metal plating, like he got shot in the head. So a lot of people are thinking that the standoff between him and Boba Fett already happened and that they both survived. And this is taking place post that. So I kind of cater to that. I kind of like that. It's it's like this homage to it. I think that's Dave Filoni's
headcanon too.
Right, is that it's kind of been built. But I also wouldn't be surprised if they brought in Fett, especially with kind of discussing more. We get a little more about Omega's backstory in this.
Yeah.
And kind of her origin, especially in the second episode. And we'll move on. We'll go talk about that. So talking about, this is now Bounty Lost. This is episode 9. We finally understand why Omega is named Omega. Do you think?
I think a lot of our speculation has been pretty spot on for who.
Similar in the sense of
who and how what Omega is.
they, at the end of the episode, they talk about how, they're like, you have to tell her. And Hunter leans down. He's like, you're valuable. Do you think that is mainly because she's got Django's blood or more? Do you think there's more? They're kind of been hinting that there is more.
I don't know. I think what a lot of people like find value in her is I think they've kind of been pushing across this narrative of, since the Django vet DNA is kind of dying
Withering,
out, they need this new DNA they can pull from, and that's Omega. And I think that's where a lot of people surface level find value, but also I think that, obviously we know that a lot of the Bad Batch has like this emotional connection to her. So there's kind of going to be this emotional weight, I think, at least towards the latter half of this. We only have 6 more episodes after today. Yeah. So we're kind of nearing the end here, and there's going to be like a lot of emotional weight behind a lot of the things that are going to happen in the next few episodes for sure. But yeah, I definitely think that there could be more to Omega than we think we know.
I think they are kind of setting something up. If not, it makes a lot of sense if they just leave it at like she's just essentially the daughter of Django. But
just like a clone of like Django, and they got the gender mixed up.
Think of it in the it's throw that one out. We screwed up the recipe on it. We thought we'd get a little crazy. No, we thought. The thing is that, especially in this new episode, Omega says it herself, I'm really good at strategy. And I'm kind of like, Boba Fett's really good at just like everything he does too. I wonder if that's just because like we always assumed it was because Django taught it. I think they're kind of making it more, it's just kind of natural to them. Yeah. Is that they're just like, they're naturally good at being whatever they are, doing things in that aspect. Like that. Yeah. So, I don't know. We'll see a little more. I love knowing that Bobo's got a sister. I love the kind of knowing that. So, talking about the rest of this episode, it's a pretty simple episode. It's mainly that fight with Bane. It's
got some great action,
which is just a stellar fight. I loved the just imagery and the look of the planet that they go to, which was Borovio. Mm-hmm. And like the contrasting.
And for a second, I was like, "Wait, that's not best." No, okay, no.
Yeah, I thought that too, and I had to go back and kind of realize, oh no, he says something else. I love the idea of how we've only known the Kaminoans being like water creatures, quote unquote, mm-hmm. but now they have a facility in the sky, they have a cloud facility.
And speaking of, there's a pretty important moment that happens in the little showdown between Fennec Shand and Cad Bane.
Which part?
Lama Su kind of did, bro.
Yeah, Lama Su is kind of dead. No, that's not Lama Su. Remember, he sends the other girl because Lama Su, or the girl was gonna go. Yeah, she was like, I'll go do it.
Why do I remember Omega saying Lama Su? I don't remember.
Because Fennec's employer is Lama Su.
Okay.
And she's I'm trying to help you, come with me. And Omega's like, no, I don't trust you. When in reality, I think she actually is, because Lama Su's trying to save Omega. But that was why the prime minister told her not to go.
That's
because her feelings are already jeopardizing the mission. So they sent the other one to get shot and killed.
I'm further proving my point that I don't know any of the names of the Kaminoans.
Yeah, watch us be wrong about all of this, too.
Oh, yeah, we're totally wrong. Everyone's yelling at us right now. You're not even a Star Wars fan, Jackson. Do you even like Star Wars?
Yeah, a little. Just a little. this fight was really, really pretty. I like the line of "You're too fresh to be going up against me," even though Fennec pretty much wins that fight.
I loved watching Fennec just like wreck Cad Bane.
When she tackles him, when she like just rushes into him, slams him into the side, I was just like, ooh, it was a very like hard hitting fight. It felt like watching like, did you ever see Hell or High Water? Just like the fight actions.
I didn't watch that one.
Killer. All of the punch just really like hit in it. You know, it's always that very grounded feeling, and you're just kind of like, ooh, that was rough. Very pretty, very cool.
I want to see that fight in live action.
Yeah, I agree. I would love something like that. Just this just dirty kind of fight that just doesn't care.
Give me like a WWE like Saturday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Cad Bane versus Fennec Shand.
The Bounty Hunter square off. Isn't that what the new Switch game's gonna be? That's like arena brawl game. It's gonna be awesome. I want to talk about the little final thing of this episode is the I promise. We know promises do not work out here in Star Wars.
They do not. Or with the Bad Batch even.
Or with the Bad Batch. Yeah, no, he goes, I promise I'll never take you. You'll never go back to Camino. And you're like, I don't even know if you can say that for yourself.
The second he said that, I verbally said, oh, she's going back to Camino.
Oh, yeah? Oh, I'm glad to see that next episode. We didn't get it next episode, but I'm glad to see that coming
she's going
soon.
back to Camino. I'm telling you.
Right? Yeah, I think it'll be funny. So
it'll be funny. It'll be hilarious to see her being tortured at Camino.
It's all gonna happen. Omega's gonna be like, "You promised." We're all gonna be crying, but we're gonna be like, "Yeah, you did."
That's hilarious.
We called that. Well, cool. Let's move on to this final.
Let's do it.
Episode. This is the current episode. Came out today. This is episode 10, Common Ground. This is kind of another filler episode, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very, very pretty.
I was surprised they went back to Raxus.
Yeah. I thought it was I love kind of the running joke with it, with Echo, how he's cautious the whole time. He doesn't trust it.
Yeah.
And like the look him and Wrecker have when they realize a droid from the Separatist is their employer. Yeah. They give each other this like, we're gonna die here. Like, no, it made me think of the Naboo map in Star Wars Battlefront when kind of everything goes haywire. It was really cool watching like the very pretty structures just be destroyed by war and tear. And it felt very much like that. That's how that game kind of looks, and like it just looked very similar. I thought it was really cool. Raxus looks really awesome in his animation in the city of Raxilon.
Yeah, I also love that moment whenever he has to, the senator guy kind of has to go out and like say his piece and like talk to the people and say like
that opening was really cool.
He was like trying to get the people to rebel basically.
Well,
I think that was so cool for him to just be like, openly, the Empire has no place here.
Yeah. You know? I like how the Bad Batch is kind of showing how the Empire was already hated. It's just that other planets were all able to fall to its control better. I really like that opening and just kind of the intensity of it. And I'm still waiting for stormtroopers. I said that today. I was like,
more clone troopers.
I want some stormtroopers.
I think we'll see. It would be cool to see. I mean, we're kind of jumping ahead here, but I think it would be cool to see what, like, the extinction of the clone army in this show, like how they. Because I don't know if it's, because I think it would take more than, if it did, it would take more than like 15, 20 years to get rid of however, like 50,000 clones, 100,000 clones.
I think if we see stormtroopers in this season, it will be probably the last episode or two. If not, I think probably next season we'll see them. So talking about this episode, the Empire's forced control on Raxus and imprisoned there. Is he a senator? It's like Z or something.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he's like the
It's like
For lack of a better term,
dude.
he's like the prime minister king
President
kind of guy.
king guy. Yeah,
He's the prime minister king
the
president.
representative. Yeah. They take him, and essentially, you know, the Bad Batch is sent to go rescue him and get him out of Raxus. And I like how it goes really well until it goes absolutely terrible.
Yeah.
Like it just takes this turn where they got to fight 3 different tanks. And I put that in our rundown just in all caps, tank fight.
Tank fight.
Like it's all we needed. No, it's fun. I love the little side story with Sid and Omega. I'm glad that it kind of turned into something I wasn't fully expecting. You know,
they keep doing that to Omega. Just leaving her behind.
This time I understood. This time I was like, you have 2 bounty hunters that you don't know who are like consistently after you. It's you should lay low. Like,
but that happens. I think that has happened every episode of they got to go on this mission and then they got like Omega, no. Stay behind. Omega, you're right here.
Well, and I like how the gang is starting to adjust to that. Notice how in this one Echo does something and he's like, well, that would work if Omega was here. Right. Or no, Hunter does it. And Hunter's like, oh, right. Like, oh, never mind. Like, I like that it kind of forces them, like they have already adapted to this new member, which, you know, Omega is a member of the Bad Batch.
Yeah, for sure. I loved that moment after they rescued the guy and they like, the tank is up against the wall. And he's like, blow this wall up.
Now that I can do.
Yeah. I love that moment.
For me, it's when Sid is trying to give Omega advice and she like insults her and Omega storms away and the 2 aliens turn and just like smugly just shake their heads.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet today that it was the still of Omega pouting in the chair and then next to it was a cat pouting looking away and it goes, someone's angry. Yeah, this was a pretty, it was just a fun, pretty action episode. I think I bet you 1 or 2 more fillers and then the rest will just be like killer, you know?
Go time, yeah.
Like the last 4 episodes usually are just going to be just absolutely insane.
Yeah, what did you think about, I guess this kind of feeds to the whole, you know, clones are good at everything, but how like amazing Omega is at strategy games like Dejarik, and that's
kind of why I'm like, is it something else? Is it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Just natural, like,
or is Boba Fett also just really good at Dejarik?
Yeah, well, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
It was cool to see. It was cool to see like people playing that because we only really see people play it on the Falcon.
Yeah.
It's cool
like,
to see it played
being like
elsewhere.
More casual because usually the game is just Sabacc. Like everyone wants to play Sabacc.
Yeah.
No, it was fun, and I like how the crew has to go on this job to finish their debt, but like midway through, like Omega wins it off. They don't just call and be like, "Hey, you can come home now." Like, like you're good, come back. No, it's fun. So now that they have their debt cleared, do you think they're going to stay with Sid?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because I think the whole time they're kind of like, "All right, Sid, we're leaving." She's like, "No, you're not. You still owe your debt to me."
Yeah, I agree. And I wonder, since they've rescued this senator, if that will kind of push them towards like rebellion stuff. Like maybe the senator is going to be involved with people who are starting the rebellion and they kind of all together go.
That'd be cool.
Yeah,
I was almost expecting Saw and his guys to show up.
Yeah, I wonder if they will later on. I could see them being like a season 2 plot. Is that like the Bad Batch are now part of the rebels, and while they're helping,
we get a season 2, yeah,
I think we will actually.
I think so,
because I think that's why they introduced this whole Sid thing. Is that they're gonna make them like mercenaries and keep them that way, and that'll cater them more to become part of the rebellion.
Yeah,
and then
I mean, what if we do get the bleed over for their original trilogy?
I think they could find a way. Yeah. Just if anything, the rebellion was pretty big. If anything, the Bad Batch are still part of it. They just don't have to be as prominently known, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe they weren't at the Battle of Hoth, but maybe they were part of the beginning cells.
And that's also why I think that they're going to die at some point in the series.
I think if anything, they'll just
very important members of the Bad Batch will sacrifice themselves.
Yeah, I don't know.
It'll be
And
like
they
maybe just Hunter left, or maybe just Echo left, or just one of them left.
You notice that that I saw these tweets, the parallel of what Echo says is live to fight another day, which is what Hardcase says in the Umbara arc before he dies.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, you got something going on.
It's the dog ran in. He's got the zoomies and shook himself. Go lay down. Go lay down. All right, I'll be back.
Welcome to the Batch Report featuring Jackson's dog.
Featuring Gideon, who's very itchy. Stop. Okay. But yeah, so what do you think we'll see next episode? Do you think we're going to move forward with like Kamino stuff, or do you think it'll be another filler?
I think we still got about 2 or 3 more, because I think with animation, they usually go for, per season, there's like 3 or 4 like really good story advancing episodes, and the rest of it is just working on getting them to those places. Yeah. So I think, unfortunately, we're probably going to get a couple more just that kind of episodes like this until we get to the last like maybe 2 or 3 episodes.
I bet you it'll be like 4. It'll be a 4 episode.
We'll wait till the finale.
That's what the season 7 of Clone Wars is. It's 4 episode arcs.
Yeah.
So I could see them making it like the last 4 is like, I bet you it'll all be on Kamino. It'll be like a siege on Kamino.
I'd love that.
Well, I don't know. See, I think thoughts
the climax
about
of this. I think the climax of this series is kind of set up to take place on Kamino.
Now, I think they're going to destroy Kamino.
We've talked about that.
The show is. I think Kamino will be destroyed by the end of this season.
Okay.
I think it'll end with the destruction of Kamino, and that either is done by the Empire or done by the Bad Batch.
I think it's going to be done by the Empire. I think they.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Because I think they have to use the clone. Canonically, they kind of need the cloning technology for the future, with the whole Snoke and Palpatine thing.
I agree, and they're very much already kind of disdained against the Kaminoans and wanting to stop the production of the clones. I bet you it'll be like they're doing stuff on Kamino, something, it goes wrong, they get caught or whatever, and then the Empire sends in its forces and its stormtroopers. And essentially the stormtroopers just start wiping everybody out, just start destroying the place and blowing up all of the cloning pods. And
I just think the Empire is going to get what they need from Kamino and then blow that popsicle stand.
What if it's like a massacre? What if it's like a purge, like in the Mandalorian? Is that the Empire just shows up and just wipes all these clones out?
That would be
horrifying.
And horrifying, but it would also be cool to see just on screen.
To just show that how ruthless. We're already seeing it with Raxus is the Empire doesn't care to take things by force. They're going to wipe everything out.
In case you didn't know, in case you weren't following along at home, the Empire gets what they want.
Yeah, right. They're the bad guys.
they're the bad guys here. So yeah, I think we have a dark future ahead of us here on this on the rest of this season.
These final 6 are going to be very interesting. For sure.
Yep.
Well, cool. Well, thank you for hanging out. Thank you for listening. As always, you can find us on Instagram at Through Imperial Eyes Pod. Our Twitter is at Imperial Eyes Pod, and our YouTube is just Through Imperial Eyes Podcast. Do the same with our Anchor, which you can listen to. Leave us reviews. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. It's okay.
Find us on Apple Podcasts as well. We really like when you review on Apple Podcasts.
Listen to us on anywhere where you have podcasts. We're on Spotify, obviously, Apple, Anchor, and Google. We've got a Facebook page and Google, and it's a good time. You can find me, Jackson, on Twitter at QuacksonScaling. It's QUACKSON, and then scaling like the triangle. And then follow my photography Instagram, which is at Deleen_photography. It's DALEEN_photography. Braydon, what about you?
As always, you can find me on Instagram at braydonleadbetter and on Twitter at Braydathlon. And if you want to follow my Letterboxd and see what I'm watching, see what I'm reviewing, just check me out on Letterboxd, Braydon Leadbetter, and that's where you can find me.
catch us on Thursday next week with our news episode. We'll be talking about whatever cool stuff, the fun things that we have. And then catch us next Friday after that for our next batch report. We'll be caught up again, so we'll just be talking
11,
about the episode
right.
that would come out, episode 11. Yep. It's going to be cool. It's going to be awesome. We hope to see you there. Until then, may the Force be with you.
And also with you.